Juan-o's world.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like, hold up a minute. Meet Willie D. Now, some of you guys may know this dude as a podcaster, but before that, he had a life as a rapper. He was one of the founding members of, was he a founding member? No, he was a part of the second iteration of the group, the Ghetto Boys, that was signed to, you guessed it, Rap-A-Lot Records. Coming out of Houston, I think Willie D is from the Fifth Ward, the same area of J. Prince Jr. And Willie D, on his podcast and his broadcast, he comes off as a guy of high moral character. You know what I'm saying? Certain things are a little hypocritical that he says and does, but it's a few things he stands on. And right now he's standing on this situation of the Karmelo Anthony incident. And I understand. I agree to a degree. But let's get into where it get hypocritical at. Meet Allstar Jr, Defensive Player of the Year, Detroit resident, rapper, dude that got his life together trying to do the right thing and be a father. Now, he recently was attacked by a mob of people. He recently had to do some things to defend his life with a weapon the attackers brung to the scene. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, the points that Willie D are making to defend Karmelo Anthony applies more in this case than they do in the Karmelo Anthony case. But we're not going to do that. I've noticed as a melanated man that we kind of make ourselves look away with the things we pick to defend and argue about, right? And I feel like what happened to Karmelo Anthony was horrible. I feel like what happened to the white boy was horrible. That whole situation was horrible. A lesson in minding your business and keeping your hands to yourself. Period. Everybody would have done that. Everybody would be better off today. But that's besides the point. See, the truth of the matter is, if we let stuff like this slide and the wrong people go to jail in these situations, if we don't stand up for what's right in these type of situations, then nobody's ever going to understand why we're standing up when it comes to things like Karmelo Anthony. No one's ever going to get it. And you know whose fault it is? Ours. But mainly the people with the loudest voices. Because Willie D, he got a real loud voice. And he has been quiet on this Allstar Jr situation. I mean, completely quiet. In this case, this is a case where the victim of an assault, he's a victim of a robbery. And then in Texas, they got a certain type of law. Like if a certain amount of people come at you, that's equivalent to them having a weapon. Not to mention they did have a weapon. I'm sure some of these people are felons. Oh, man. And then they're from another state. Now, if you watch YouTube, you might have heard of Loose Cannon. And Loose Cannon was a fool who's currently in jail for a Hobbs Act violation. And if you don't know the Hobbs Act violation, these Louisiana cats committed one when they came to Texas and collectively assaulted, attempted to rob. Oh, no, they actually did rob this man. They attempted to murder him. Oh, yeah. And look at J. Prince Jr. in the middle over there.
Austin, because you think there was only Austin involved. But like I said, Hunter already admitted that he was involved too. You think Austin or Karmelo's going to look up at Austin and then see his twin brother and think to himself, all right, if this turns into a fight, I'm sure the guy that looks exactly like him is not going to help him. And I'm sure the other two dudes are not going to help him. So he had every reasonable feeling to believe, all right, they're against me. They are against me. So at the point he had that feeling, and then it escalated from them telling him what to do to one of the attackers putting their hands on him. That's multiple assailants. The moment that happened, you can't just omit that.
Well, actually, they can, and they did, because they always moved the goalpost to exactly where they needed to be at so that they can score. Ain't that something? Isn't that interesting how that happens? Yeah, fam. There's a whole lot of folks out there who try to control black bodies. It's like Jose said, you can't tell
You absolutely right, Willie D. There are people that love to control black bodies. There are. I wouldn't deny that that's what was happening in this case, nor in this other case that you're not speaking on. But the problem is when it's us against us, it's protected. And when it's them against us, we want to say something about it. We need to be protected both ways. And not just your people, all our people.
You ain't the, what do you say? You ain't the boss of his body. Y'all better cut that shit out thinking you can tell people where they need to be at, where they should be, where they shouldn't be. Self-deputizing. And it seemed like to me, quite frequently, you only really do it to black folks. Because I have yet to see a slew, even just a.
And them was my exact sentiments, Willie D. It's like y'all only do it to black folks. It's like all the black people that don't want to go with y'all way, y'all just have a problem with. People end up dead. They end up, man, RIP, bro. They end up dead. Big Mike ended up in jail, for defending himself. Allstar Jr. in jail, defending himself. And it's a long list. I'm a different type of content creator than the rest of them. I don't just talk, you know what I'm saying? I do it a little bit differently, you know what I'm saying? That ain't to say the ones that talk aren't effective, you know what I'm saying? Because they are. And what they saying is the truth. But I go after a whole nother different type of truth. You know what I'm saying? A whole different type of interview. Some of what's going on is sad. And this ain't the first time. The team you represent then was beyond out of line against another black person publicly. And you didn't say nothing. And this is the problem with certain people having loud voices. But at the same time, your fame transfer. But then outside of the rap-a-lot thing, Willie D, you're a felon. Yeah. I guess we could say allegedly because we don't know how your plea deal worked. But you did some scamming or some frauding allegedly and had to, pay your recompense. Now, with that being said, you're also a person who speaks about defending himself regularly. This could be you in this situation. And are you telling me that you deserve to have to fight for your life that you just defended because you made a mistake 10 years ago? Are you saying that is cool? 10 people attack you and you recover a firearm from one and you lay a couple of them out? And then they talking about how did he know the threat was gone? The whole restaurant jumped him. So that means when people got to running, there's people on the elevators, the stairs, in front of the place. Where the hell was he supposed to go? And how the hell did he know the threat was over? Please tell me that. But you ain't said nothing. If he goes to jail for this, that would create new case law to where it could be it wouldn't even be argumentative. You going to jail for whatever time they said. Do you think that's cool? Now, I'm not a felon, so it don't affect me the same way. But we know it affect you, and you have said nothing, bro.
This Offset dude, I ain't gonna leave him out. Niggas be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? I don't like them kind of individuals. One can dance and different things in front of these different cameras and all that kind of shit. And when reality, the truth of the matter is, nigga, you wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive. For you to be taking these positions that you taking, I got people everywhere, so I hear all kinds of things. I'm gonna just say this to you. Don't never put me in no position where, I have to defend myself. That wouldn't be healthy for you. I have to say that. But it's $1 million worth of game. You know what I mean? It's $1 million worth of game, and I'm gonna give it to him right on $1 million worth of game because I ain't gonna throw rocks and hide my hand. I'm gonna just let it be known, to him because I hear.
Now if the boss man set them rules, right after the murder or the killing of Takeoff, if he did set that on one of the biggest podcasts ever and he set them rules, then why is it an issue when the young dudes get to playing by them rules? Because y'all put Allstar Jr. in a situation where he had to defend himself. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty clear y'all putting y'all hands, well, not y'all hands. It's pretty clear y'all dropping y'all coins on the scales of justice to make sure certain people don't have to go to jail or pay for the crimes that they committed on camera, which is ridiculous. You know, as a father, it goes from a point to where helping your son turns into a hindrance from them ever doing or being better. And I've been a perpetrator of that crime a little bit myself. But at some point, you can't keep ruining everybody else's lives trying to protect somebody that don't want theirs. And we out. Free Allstar Jr.